Yo, what up? It's your boy Vuxco, and we're here to talk about your year in review, or specifically my year in review. You can get your own after the video on leetify.com, but my year in review is actually quite interesting because lowest rank is Gold Nova 4, highest rank is Global Elite. And I've talked about this in a video before. In fact, Swisher and someone else made a video of their own year in review, and they talked about NA Global being impossible to get. This is proof that it is possible if you go to Europe to get Global and then you come back to NA. I have to say Global in NA might literally be impossible. And if I look at my matches and we ignore these pathetic ones that are in Face at 10 where it's actually a challenge, this is what NA Global looks like. These are 30 to 45 minute queues to play with Gold Novas and MGs. And all three of the games I've played so far have been wins, one of which this game has two cheaters on my team who are LE and LEM. Okay, that just goes to show the cheaters aren't even at that high of a rank. And the first one I played had one of the two cheaters on my team still with a 40 bomb back when he was LE, again against MGs. There simply don't seem to be enough high rank players for anyone, even cheaters, to get to Global in NA. I'm not sure it even exists. But regardless, back to the year in review. Highest ranked Face at 10, lowest Face at 8. This is actually the first year since I believe 2018 I've even deranked from Face at 10. Unfortunately, it doesn't say when this happened, but I do have a video on it on my second channel you can check out if you want. Now, best friend, Koi, 64 matches, 69% win rate. Nice. And this makes perfect sense because Koi is someone who probably plays more like a Face at 10, maybe like a 2300 ELO player, but he's in Face at 9, which means, of course, we're going to have a fairly high win rate, especially because he plays what I say too perfect, and I play what I say too ridiculously aggressive and dumb. Then we've got B-Dub, don't even like that guy, 56% win rate, pathetic. Austin, by the way, great YouTube channel and Twitch channel, would recommend Austin CS _. I don't know, he's got the weirdest channel names, would recommend, but regardless, top carries. Unfortunately, it seems like I played with B-Dub and Austin mostly before leetify rating came out, so maybe that wasn't, it's not being shown here. Koi, 1.1, plus 1.1, KD, I mean, of course, these are the three guys I've queued with, pretty much the only three I've queued with for the most of the year, and they're also in my top friendly flashers. And, I do like team flashing a little bit, apparently. Obviously in the top team kills as well. This is going to be a little bit more interesting for you if you play more consistently and with a more wide variety of players, or if you don't queue with anyone. There's just three guys, maybe four guys I've queued with most of the year, so this is a bit skewed here. Activity-wise, I actually thought this was kind of interesting. Only 415 hours in matches this year, so that's just over maybe 1.2 hours per day. Tracked by leetify at least. Maybe it doesn't have every single game I have this year, but it's probably most of them. You can definitely see the ticks where, I've got July, I played quite a bit, and then October and November trying to grind to Global, because this is, if you look back at the top, so how this rank progression goes, I'm in LE at the beginning of the year, it looks like. I drop down. Before I leave in August, I am an MG2 or MG1, I believe. Then I rank out, inactivity rank out into September, where I rank into Gold Nova, swiftly make my way to Global, and I'm not sure how long I'll keep it, but, I've got it for now. Heading down leetify rating, my performance has been subpar a little bit. I mean, plus 0.92, I suppose. I don't think it's terrible. It's average. Cover your eyes, kids. Cover your eyes. Of course, games are meant to be not super hard carried, right? You're meant to have average stats. And especially because I can't aim back, my stats are very average. But the win rate at least is 55%. So at least I've got that going for me. And the ADR is actually very high. So at least I've got something. With opening duels, this is a stat. I would love to see the actual number of opening duels, because this doesn't look to be the opening duels. This just looks to be kills and deaths total. Opening duel stats is interesting because obviously the more opening duels you take, the lower your opening duel percentage is going to be, most likely. If you only take one aggressive route, it's your most comfortable route, you're going to have less opening duels, but you're probably going to win a higher percentage of them. So I would like to have seen, do you take a ridiculous amount of opening duels and still have 56% won, or do you take an opening duel every 10 rounds and you have 56% won, which would be notably less impressive. Clutch-wise, overall win rate 15%. I feel like this is like negging me a little bit. Like, if you look at the HLTV stats, I think they only count your win rate as a percentage with 1v1s. I love to see this broken down all the way, but saying overall 15%, I feel like I'm just getting attacked right now. I mean, 55% win rate 1v1s is solid, I suppose. Not actually sure how great that is. Multi-kill wise, this is obviously a lot of your impact. Not really sure exactly how this compares necessarily to other people in pugs. As always, you got some trivia. The arch enemy, Servo Forrent. He's a friend of mine in a group of 10-mans. So having him be my arch enemy, he does destroy me every time we play in 10-mans. So it actually makes perfect sense. Leetify users, I'm surprised it's only 880 Leetify users in the wild. That's actually a surprisingly small number compared to what I would expect, but I suppose Leetify still is somewhat new and they're still trying to expand their base. 6 pros found in the wild I thought was interesting. It would be nice to see who those pros were. I know I played JT and Sonic at some point. I can't tell exactly who else I've played. Hopefully, I'm not one of the pros found in the wild, but I would assume not. Make me feel nice, but I would assume I'm not because I'm definitely far from a professional player. Longest win streak 11, longest loss streak. I have a video on this 9 loss streak. At some point I just wanted to quit the game forever. But on my second channel, you can find my 9 loss streak that does correlate with my D rank to Face It 8 as well. Most improved skills. This is a little bit boring for me. I'm sure you'll find yours more interesting because I haven't necessarily been working on anything in particular myself. So this is stuff that just kind of happenstance may have improved and maybe it'll go back down next year, for all I know. But if you yourself look at your own, this could be something that's a little bit of a, feels good moment where you notice that your most improved skill is something you've been working on this year, is something that you've tried your best at. Whereas for me, this is generally just stuff that I'm already, pretty comfortable with. Utility-wise, 4.5 hours of flashbangs is ridiculous. That is, that is a long freaking time. Given I only played 451 hours of games, 1% of my time in game has been spent in Flashbang, just about, this year. I wonder how that compares. Total money wasted. The one thing I have said about utility wasted as a stat is that I feel you don't want your utility wasted to actually be $0. Although it would, light up as a good thing. In theory, if you never die with extra utility left over, it would be a good thing. However, that, sometimes you're going to lose duels that you should just straight up win. And you shouldn't drop all of your utility before you ever take any duel ever, because you might want that utility for after the duel is over. If I win a gunfight and I have a smoke to smoke off the rotate, that's going to make a pretty much round winning play. Whereas if I don't have the smoke, it might not be as effective of a play. So obviously you don't want to overly, play too aggressive with utility in your hands. However, if you never take any fights except for when you have no utility, you're probably making a mistake in your own way. Then scrolling down to maps, you can see exactly how it works here in NA. Mirage and Inferno are pretty much the only 2 maps, followed lagging far behind is Overpass. And then I think the 4th map is probably lagging quite a bit. I mean, I'm sure I've played maybe 30 of Cache. I think that might be my 3rd most played. And when it comes to Face It, I leave every map open. I play any map on Face It, and in matchmaking, I play Inferno, Mirage, Overpass, Cache are always up. A lot of the time I leave Train, but I turn it off after one game. Same goes for a couple of other maps as well. But you can definitely see the reason I say Inferno is possibly the best solo queue map. Now, when it comes to Mirage, everyone's an amazing opper. and there's a lot of good op angles, so it makes it a little bit more complicated. But also, it's harder to turn a single kill into a round win. That's what I find is the most effective on Inferno, and that's something I'm pretty good at. I might be a little bit over-aggressive, but I'm good at going towards Banana. You get a kill on one of the B players, and you know most of the time, almost all the time, what their setup is going to be in a pug. They're going to have one more player B and 3 players A. So you can easily snowball a kill on a Banana player into a B site take. The same even goes for A. You can kill their arch player or their truck player and quickly snowball that into trying to take the bomb site or trying to take full arch side control. Whereas with Mirage, a lot of the time you have sites that are held by 2 players. You have a lot of different positions people are comfortable playing, so you might have 2 guys on A and you can't really know. And even if you know they only have 1 guy on A when you kill their A player, it is hard to snowball that into full site control, especially because people are a lot more spread out. So I do feel like Inferno it's probably the best solo queue map, whereas Overpass, I'm surprised the win rate's this high. It's one of my best maps individually. However, both bomb sites are so split that it's hard. If you're an A player, they can just run out B, and if you're a B player, obviously they can run up A. It's pretty hard to deal with, especially because a lot of full teams like to play very coordinated games on Overpass. But regardless, into the economy, money spent, I would love to see the KD and stuff on these buys. I think you can find this on the leetify site, your stats in these buys, full buy versus full buy, which I saw mine was notably effective full buy versus full buy, but some of my other rounds were not the greatest in terms of stats. You know, I might hunt a little bit too much against pistols. TLDR, highest ranked global elite. Spoiler, guys, I'm sorry. I do make Global Elite at the end of the series, but if spoiling the ending ruins the series with our road to Global, then the series was never that good to begin with. It's the journey to the end that matters, not the exact ending itself. Think about it. Here's to 2022. Head on over to leetify and check out your own, and you can tell me some stats from yours if you want to. Anyways, thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one.